conceptual stuff.
Hello, everybody. Dr. Rick Wallace dropping in on you. Hope that everybody is having a great start to your day. I hope that you had a great week. I hope that 2022 is getting off to a start that you can be satisfied with or at least proud of. But if not, I want to encourage you to continue to press towards those higher aspirations, those higher standards, those higher expectations, to continue to believe and continue to focus. I have something here I want to give to you. This will not be the normal 3 to 4, 5, 6, 7 minutes, as if I ever do that. But this is going to be something I really want to give you with you. Hopefully, it'll be one of those videos that you kind of put away in the archives and you pull out. There are videos that I literally listen to every morning that I started listening to 7, 8 years ago. That encourage me, inspire me, get my juices flowing, and remind me of where I was when I first heard that video and what I had on my mind and what I desired and aspired to do. And so I'm hoping that this will be one of those altering type, impactful type videos. What I want to remind you before I get started, and I'll talk to you about it at the end, is don't forget, if you haven't joined the Epic Realm community, which is a community I created to build circles that are winning circles, where you are around people who are going where you're going, been where you're trying to go, have the knowledge you need, have the positivity and approach. And I'm going to talk about a lot of why that's important in this particular segment. But if you haven't joined, join now. Look, I'll talk to you about it more. I want to get into this, but here's the thing. Joining the annual membership is only $100. If you join today, you're going to get a free rapid change breakthrough session, which is a $350 value. I charge $350 for my rapid change breakthrough sessions. You're going to get one for free for joining. But the big benefit is in the membership, and we'll talk about that later. There's so much that you're going to get in this year that's going to totally change your life. Your life will not be the same next year. If you haven't joined, now's the time to join. We're kicking things off starting this weekend and moving forward. We're kicking things off, and we want you to be a part of the inaugural processes and the things we're going to be doing and enjoying. Well, let's talk. Over the course of, say, the last 10 years, I've been doing this all my life. I am a studier of human behavior. I just have been. Before I knew that I was a studier of behavior, I was a studier of behavior. Before I even committed to psychology as the base of what I would do in my life, I was already studying human behavior. And so that is what I am. But over the last, say, 10 years, I have read volumes of empirical data on human performance, human decisions, behavior, and performance. And on top of that, I've conducted numerous studies on my own in the same area. Here's what I can tell you. You can ask random people, pull from a group, no specific, you're not looking for a demographic. You're not looking for any form of demographic, whether it be socioeconomic status, race, gender, none of that. You're just looking to pull people randomly to find out what the average American person is thinking. And here's a question. What is the most important thing you would want to accomplish in life? What do you want out of life more than anything else? The number one answer is to be happy. But when you ask people to define what being happy means, it goes into, I want to be independently wealthy. I want to be financially free. I want to own my own business. I want my marriage to be spectacular. I want to be at the top of my game in my field, a career. I want to be the best point guard and whatever their idea of enjoying life and really living at the top of their game in life means to them. Some people want to be athletes. Some people want to be business owners. Some people want to be investors. Some people want to have beautiful families and live in their dream home. One of the things that stuck out to me is that I heard a lot was the American dream. The American dream. What is the American dream? The white picket fence, the big house with the white picket fence, a dog, 2.5 kids, whatever the American dream is. The American dream ultimately is that anything you want to have in this life, you can have. That's the American dream. That's what a lot of people flock to the U.S. is because they believe that there's something here that you can't get anywhere else. And the truth of the matter is, it isn't. You know, the system is set up for you to get it a certain way, but no matter where you're at in the world, you can have what you want if you apply yourself. But here's the thing. You want to know what the problem is with all those people? You know, some of the things that people say, you know, I want to be happy. I want to be independently wealthy. I want to be all this. You don't want to know what the problem is with that? 99% of the people who say stuff like that are not willing to do what it takes to make their dreams a reality, to make their vision come true, to sit up and actually achieve what it is they want. 99% simply aren't willing to put in the work. I tell you all the time that life will pay whatever price you demand of it. It will. God will, if it's meant for good. If you're going to take it and you're going to use it for good in your life, and you're going to use that good that you build in your life to be a blessing to other people, it cannot and will not be held against you. So what's the problem? That when you make a demand on life, when you sit up and you make a demand on God, when you sit up and make a demand and you sit up and say, look, this is what I want. Life says, okay, cool, you can have it. But guess what happens after that? Life turns around and says, okay, here are my counter demands. Okay, life, I want to be independently wealthy. I want to be debt free. Life says, okay, cool. You're going to have to stop spending 40% of your income on XYZ. You're going to have to stop spending on things that are non-essentials. You're going to have to stop looking and jumping and money and trying to look the part more than developing and becoming the part. And most people balk at that. You know, I had a guy come to me and say, man, I want to save my marriage. I told him what to do. He went back. He did it, but he did it reluctantly. He came back and said, it seems like it's gotten worse. Yeah, because your wife realizes that the thing you're doing, you're not doing because you want to do it. You're doing because you feel you have to, and you're actually resentful about it. So now she resents you, and it's actually gotten worse. You got to actually see that this why, which is I want my marriage to be at its best, has to be better than all the things you think you're giving up in order to have it, because you're going to have to give. Let me tell you something. I'm probably going to mention this more than once, that anything in this life that is going to be worth having begins with a challenge. It begins with something you're going to have to take on, have to go through, have to deal with. You're not going to get the good stuff dropping in your lap without you investing something in having it. And the problem is 99%, literally 99%. This is not me exaggerating. This is me taking at least 10 years of what I've been doing and looking at and studying people and say, well, why people can't get to where they want to go. It's real simple. It's not that they're being held back. It's not that they're being blocked. Yeah. There are obstacles, especially for certain people. There are more obstacles than others, but that's not why you can't get there. Because if you look, you'll see someone who looks just like you, came from where you came from, doing what you want to do. What's the difference? They were willing to do what it took to get there. See, you want to have the prize or the promise, but you don't want to endure the process. You don't want to go through that difficult, uncomfortable moment of uncertainty, being unsure about what's going to happen. You don't want to give up certain things you consider to be comforts. You don't want to give up those things to have something greater. So you hold the lesser because you have it. 99% of the people who say they want to be happy, wealthy, business owners, at the top of their game, high performers, aren't willing to do what it takes to get there. It's not that it's not possible. It's absolutely possible, but they don't want to do what it takes to get there. They don't want to put skin in the game at the level that it takes in order to have exceptional, in order to have extraordinary, in order to have phenomenal. They just want to simply get there. It doesn't work that way. It simply does not work that way. Look, I'll say this again. The fruit of everything good begins with a challenge. You must recognize this or you'll never get started. You know why? If you don't recognize that the fruit of every good thing begins with a challenge, every time you get ready to get started, and then you look at what's in front of you, and you see the monumental challenge in front of you, you balk at it. You hesitate. It ends up being procrastination. Then it ends up being balk, and you just set it aside, and you never ever go back to it eventually because it was a challenge sitting in front of you. There is no achievement of the prize without there being an endurance of the process. There's going to be a challenge in front of you. You've got to want to take the challenge. You've got to want to take the challenge. Another thing, you got to make decisions. You got to make decisions and you got to act on them. You can't be indecisive. So, some people are highly analytical, and that's why they don't make it anywhere. They want all the information, then they want to analyze the information. They want to double back and analyze the information, and they never get to a point where they trust that what they have is enough. They keep looking, they keep wanting, and what you do, you keep analyzing. You're in your head. You got to get out of your head. A bunch of people take the action. What? Sometimes you're going to take the action and it's going to be fantastic. Everything that you thought would happen will happen. Sometimes you're going to take the action and things happen beyond what you could have even imagined. Then there are going to be times you're going to take the action and something is going to go wrong. That's expected. You're not perfect. You're not going to hit the ball out of the park every time. You're not going to make connection every time. You're going to have to sit up and say, okay, I need to make an adjustment. I need to go back and see, okay, what did I do wrong, or what did I do a certain way that can be done differently that can probably produce better results. You're going to have to be willing to sit up and make decisions and take action. You cannot sit up and be indecisive. Decisions accompanied by action produces momentum. You have to have movement in order to build force. You cannot build force standing still. That's a primary basic law of physics. Get something in motion. Once it's in motion, it's going to have to meet something of greater resistance to stop it. The more momentum and force you build, the greater the resistance has to be to stop you. But sitting still, nobody has to stop you. You already stopped. You stopped yourself because you were inactive. You didn't take action. You didn't invest yourself. You didn't move towards something. You're sitting there not doing what it takes to have what you say you want. It's nobody's fault but yours. I literally do studies. I'm going to tell you something. You think social media is just a place to hang out. I can tell you as a business owner, as a researcher, it is not. So much information is being gathered on everybody on these things, from business owners, from retailers, from product developers, and everything. It tells them everything they need to know about you. You're sharing, you're talking, you're moving. And what I can tell you is Facebook is really good because Facebook will allow you to literally download all of your data from your particular page. And you can download it and save it in a number of different forms, and you can sit up and put it on another platform and you can study it. How many studies I've conducted of people who I interact with, people who constantly will come to a video like this, click on it and go big ups and talk about what they want. And I can look up 5 years later, go to their page. They haven't taken any action. And I can sit up and log it. I can look at it. I can go back to all the stuff that they said that's on my page that I've downloaded, all the things they've said over the course of the years, talking about what they want, how they are. They love it. They like it. They whatever. They may even share it, but they haven't taken action on it. You cannot take. It does not take. You cannot sit up there and not take action. You cannot sit up there and think you're going to have something by simply wanting it or wishing for it and getting excited about what you see in lectures and videos. Yes, it's good to have motivation. It's good to be inspired. It's good to find places you can go to get encouraged. But if it's not followed by action, it's for naught. You're going to have to put in some work. You're going to have to take some actions. Another thing that has to happen, and it goes into what I talked to you about earlier, this a big part of what I see that a bunch of people are simply immersed in poor environments. They're not in a place where they can be stoked, where they can be encouraged. Something that I tell everybody, the way that you get this thing started, the way you start to prepare yourself and move towards greatness is that you have to take action. You have to make up in your mind. But here's what you do. Set yourself on fire. Set yourself aflame. Ignite a flame in you that's just made up in its mind that it is going to achieve something. Then what do? You find people to fan your flames. This is going to be your intentional circle. This is going to be the circle that you build. This is going to be the circle that's intentional. So you're born into a circle that you have no control over. You're born in, you got parents, you got siblings, you got cousins, aunties, uncles, you got teachers, and you got classmates and peers in school, but you didn't choose it. But the older you get, the more you learn that I get to choose the people who are around me, the people I spend the most time with, the people I talk to. I get to control it. Then by the time you're an adult, you should have a very clear understanding of where you're going, and your circle should reflect that. The problem is most people have been so obligated to old ties because of a sense of loyalty that they haven't built the type of circle necessary to perpetuate the results that they are trying to get. So you're stuck in there. What happens is, if you don't find a circle that's fanning your flames, that's inspiring you, that's encouraging you, that's edifying and lifting you, what you're going to find is you're becoming exhausted, drained, and withdrawn because you're pulling around naysayers. You're pulling around the weight of naysayers, and it's burning you out. You're going to have to stop and actually take time to find the people who will pour into you, who will encourage you, who will advise you, who will lift you up, who will be an energy force that you can immerse yourself in and build something strong, something powerful, something exciting. That has to be your goal. That's why I created Epic Realm, because there are a bunch of people out there that are simply immersed in poor environments. You don't have the people. Look at your text messages. Look at the text messages from the last 5 people that you got text messages from. How many of those people fan your flames? If you've got 5 out of 5, you're great. If not, you need to find the person who's the negative link. You need to get rid of them. You need to replace that person with someone specific, not just somebody that you like being around. I'm talking about somebody that's literally going to propel you towards where you're trying to go. So you got a bunch of people that are fun to be around, but they ain't going nowhere. Maybe you spend them once a month with them, go hang out, have a ball. But the people you spend your time with on a consistent basis have to be adding something, giving something, putting something into you. That should be a prerequisite for the people you spend your time around. The problem is most people don't live their lives on that prerequisite. Your prerequisite is the person you spend your time around. In order for them to have space with you, they have to be encouraging you. They have to be fanning your flame. They have to be inspiring and lifting. There has to be something they're bringing to the table that puts you in a different position than you're already in. And you need to be doing the same thing for them. You should be bringing something to the table, but you should be expecting something in return. This is an exchange of positive energy, positive force, positive advice and lifting and edification and words. That should be that. That's why I created Epic Realm. That's why I created, because there we're going to come together. We're going to have weekly Q&A sessions with yours truly. We're going to let everybody share what they have on their table, what their challenges are, what they're going through, what their desires are, what they want to do. We're going to dig deep into it. We're going to give to it. Every month we're going to have courses where we're going to teach people to do things that they want to do, from starting a business, writing a business plan, doing a marketing analysis, how to launch online, a bunch of things like that. We're going to teach you the basis of how to manage money for the simplest of incomes. You don't have to be wealthy to start building. That's another misconception. We're going to get into all of that. We're going to build communities. We're going to come together over and over the course of the week. You're going to get a whole lot for this annual membership. To top it off, if you sign up today for the membership, you're going to get a rapid change breakthrough session with yours truly. And that alone makes it worth it, because the rapid change breakthrough session is a $350 value. You're getting it for free. You're getting the membership, but you're getting so much more over the course of this membership. 1 month, I guarantee you, 1 month in, you're going to be going, wow, I built it so that you could have a community, but I also designed it so that you can start finding people in the community that you connect with on a personal level, that you can become involved with and engage with. And we live in a world of technology that allows you to do this with people no matter where they're at and have a real true connectivity. And who knows what comes out of that. But you've got to build, you got to have the right environment. Some of your environment's so toxic, it's no wonder that you've never ever stepped out and you've never gone any further. You're literally having the life sucked out of you. You're literally dying a slow, painful, and agonizing death because you're not living at the pinnacle of your design. I'm real big on that. I believe everybody is designed for something and you should be living at the level of your design. The problem is very few people are. My challenge is make today that day that you change, that you make a decision. Stop being that 99% that won't do what it takes. You're not going to wish your way into it. And while prayer has purpose, you can't pray your way into it because God's simply going to tell you how. He's not going to do it for you. Prayer is about revelation. Prayer's about, so you don't, God's not going to do it for you. God, number one, I tell you this all the time, God's not going to deliver you from the giants he sent you to slay. You're here to do something exceptional because people will look at what you're doing and want to be a part of it. And they will in that place be edified and elevated themselves. You're not here to coast through life, surviving and existing. You're here to live at a level that literally inspires other people. If you're not doing that, you're failing the designer. I'm challenging you, make today the day. Don't sit on it any longer. I look at all that work I do and I ask those questions and those people will tell you, this is what I want. This is what I want. This is what I want. And then when you start listing, have you did this? Have you did this? Will you do this? And then you start to follow up with them after 6 months. Have you done this? Have you done that? You follow up with them. Have you done this? 2 years later, have you done this? And they're just, they won't do it. If you want to see greatness in your life, you're going to have to be willing to do the things that allow you to become the person capable of that greatness. It's that simple. On that notice, I'm out of here. I hope that somebody got the message. Share the message. Watch this more than once. Get an understanding of what it takes. You're not going to win sitting still, but you can win. Take action. On that note, I'm out of here. As I always say, I live my life on full so that when I leave this place, I'll die on E, meaning that I will have left no potential untapped. On that note, right, Keisha Johns, as Eric Thomas says, they don't want it as bad as they want to breathe. And until you want this thing as bad as you want to breathe, there will always be something that will stop you. Again, on that note, I'm out of here. You guys have an unbelievable day.